I took over Spider-Man at Marvel when it was like at number 21, and they said, guys, do whatever you gotta do, get the sales up. We drove it to number 1. They gave me a goal, David, sell more books. And that still was not good enough. I had to quit. I had to call Uncle and I had to go off.
Supposed to be resting today, AKAPADers. I don't know what you do, but on Sundays, I observe the day of rest. With all of that, say what you will. It's just a new practice for me to maintain my sanity. But during this, we're waiting for football. We're waiting for 1 o'clock. My fantasy team is 9-2, by the way, guys. We're killing it. So, right, the 1 o'clock games, I need them because Josh Allen, we didn't do good on Thursday. So, before 1, your boy here with this, doom scrolling. The whole social media gets on us sometimes, even shocks myself. And I get this Todd Mcfarlane clip coming up on my feed. The cringe father on my feed. What? So he's bitching. He's still bitching about this Marvel stuff. AKAPADers, we can use his own words against them. These pages and a little bit of that gray matter, you smear it together, and we're going to expose him as an absolute crybaby hypocrite. Let's go. So, when we hear about the cry father, and cheers AKAPADers, this is what he's crying about. Maybe one of the coolest things that come out of the 90s, out of Marvel, pre-Image, was Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane collaborating, teaming up to do X-Force Spider-Man. This really was the coolest thing on earth. I mean, I can't describe to you what it was like to buy these and bring them home and read them and just be in awe of the Todd McFarlane style, like the details here, like the weird tire look at that smoke, like all of these wonderful like little things that essentially when McFarlane stopped drawing Spawn, he never returned to. There's a style and the flair of this era that Todd never got back. But that's not what we're discussing. In this issue, to stop the unstoppable juggernaut, Shatterstar, while he was straight, by the way, because he's gay now. This guy's gay, by the way, just so you know. To stop the juggernaut, Todd McFarlane finds this gotcha, which is, I can stab him in the eye. And Marvel says, don't do that. The original illustration, and you heard about this, and it's really weird not enough people reference it. It was always the blade went into the eye, and Marvel just said, no, like, we can't do that, Todd. And this panel, this little, look how small this panel is. This panel is really what set him off. And he at one time made it sound like that they redrew his artwork. No, what they did was, while they were photographing the line work for the plates, they added a blood splash. And one other element. I do suspect that his original drawing for this, the eye was not visible. Because the eye is supposed to be damaged and he's supposed to be partially blind. And we see, like you see some of the drawing of the blood there, right? With that, like a little bit, right? But Marvel at this time, they made this guy a millionaire. No one knew who he was. And they let his style, his page layout, his design sense flourish. Todd McFarlane did a lot unregulated at this time in Marvel. And he just makes it sound like he's the victim. And let's look at his book. Let's just get into his Marvel era. right? We know him. He does Batman, right? Does a little bit of Hulk. The one quick note about his Hulk stuff. This is why there's one Hulk issue that went up in value, right? All the other Todd McFarlane Hulk issues, no one cares about. And the reason for that is Peter David wrote this series so well at this time. This makes him the greatest Hulk author of all time, by the way. No one really cared who drew it. Okay? So it's not like Hulk went to become like #1 giant big hit. People liked it, but they quickly moved on from it because Peter David's writing was so effing good. So he gets into Marvel, right? Like right about here. Like let's get into, right? Spider-Man 300. Look, Marvel doesn't stop him from doing the Michael Golden spaghetti webbing, the crazy pose Todd McFarlane designed to cover. They let him do that. They let him use photographic backgrounds like a lazy bum. They let him do that. They give him all of these covers to do. All of his exaggerations. They even allow Todd McFarlane to draw Martin Luther King. Look, he homages Action Comics #1. Homage covers were... people forget how frowned upon homage covers were at one time. People hated them. I hate them. I hate homage covers. I think they're lazy. Take a shot every time I say lazy in this video. Right? More like just... Marvel seems pretty good with letting Todd be Todd. They tell him, if you want to make it darker, you want to make it grittier, make it darker, make it grittier. Like, make it yours, Todd. They're fine with it. Like, they let him draw the Lizard massively off model. They let him get away with that. He draws his version of these characters. If you want to make Mary Jane look like a stripper on a pole, do it, Todd. And he'll say it was selling. And his attitude is just because it was selling, he's infallible. He's working for a company. He's within a company system. During this time, too, he had the delusion that he could break off and draw hockey trading cards. Right? But Marvel trusts him so much, they give him one of the biggest launches in comic book history. They give him this. They say, Todd, you get your own book, and you can make it as dark and gritty as you want. And Todd says, oh my God, great. Thank you, Marvel. Thank you. Draw it dark. Make it in a way that we haven't seen. And it works, and it sells, right? We all know this effing story. You want blood on the cover? Todd, you get blood on the cover. You want to just draw him destroyed. And I'm not knocking any of this, right? But this is what they let him do. You want to draw like just weird, creepy. You want to draw like the creepiest of the creepy stuff. But hey, give us a good Ghost Rider. Look, it's still going. Issue 9. Right? Draw it your way, buddy. Draw Wendigo the way you want to draw them. Homage yourself by issue 13. Here, Mobius. Draw the most wild, creepy shit you can imagine, Todd, and we're going to let you. So much so, look, they use Todd McFarlane to sell all the other Marvel books. Right? Right? Pinups. I think some of these, right? This was a pinup, but I think Comic Images may have released this as like a print. Look, Todd, we want you in Marvel forever. We will draw our handbook, our manual that everyone's going to buy and read and, feed off of. put your characters in your style. Not enough Spider-Man? Maybe Todd wants to draw Spider-Man, right? Like, at this point, it's once you get tethered to something, it's hard to get untethered, especially in this era. But they find a workaround. Todd, you can draw the Marvel Tales covers, and we'll let you just draw like all the other heroes. Want to draw Ice? You want to draw Dazzler? Want to draw the X-Men? Todd, we're working with you. We're giving you extra work and extra covers. You want to draw Colossus. You want to draw Beast. We're working with you, buddy. Feed them Quasar. This is interesting because Todd McFarlane and Jim Lee kind of had two dueling back-to-back covers. Each had the cover for Quasar and each had the cover for Conan the Barbarian. It's interesting to judge both of those. Look, Skating on Thin Ice. This was handed out at schools, I believe. There's that Conan cover. Like, Todd, we will give you other things to draw. But it would be nice if you stayed on Spider-Man for a little bit. Right? Like, I think this is pre-Marvel DC here. But, like, getting into, like, around this time, too, he collaborated with Liefeld for... Really, Liefeld's absolute best covers were inked by Todd McFarlane. Like, even this X Factor one. The best Liefeld is through McFarlane's pen. Todd, like, draws Spider-Man for Wizard 1. I don't even think this was approved. The stuff that he gets away with. And then, here it is, guys. This is the look at the panel that he's pissed about. That he's still... bitching. This is what made him leave Marvel. And you might say, oh, well, he did Spawn. AKAPADers. Todd McFarlane, at this time, breaking away to do Spawn, but coming back and not being a total weirdo dickhead, would have been the move. He gets no credit. What battleground, Todd? Like, where? Look, they literally... I think they photocopied the eye, they shrank it, they flipped it, or they took an eye from something else. Someone drew that eye, because the eye is different here. Right? They drew a different blade. But they said, look, we just can't do this, Todd. Can you give us this one thing? And he acts like he deserved like a golden watch. The way he's been able to like respin this, him leaving Marvel, where at the time, AKAPADers, don't forget, the a-hole was trying to start a comic book union in Marvel, in DC, that would have crippled American comics at the time. Don't forget, unions are bad business. There was a need for them at one time, not now. Yeah, I'm just like sick of this guy.